Welcome to Module 1 of this Mindfulness for Schools course. So now you've purchased the course, and thank you and well done for doing that. Let's move on to our first module. I'm going to talk you through the modules that are actually listed in the training manual, but you'll be able to easily download the training manual, and it's really recommended that you work through the exercises, you work through what's actually written in the training manual, because they're going to give you a much longer and more in-depth solution to offering mindfulness in schools, which of course is applicable if you're a teacher teaching 11 to 16-year-olds, or if you have a child between 11 or 16 too. So let's have a look at Module 1 about mindfulness. At the end of this module, there's also a self-assessment task as well. So you can check with some of the tasks that you're going to be able to offer the children during this age range. But all of the tasks completed and done within this module, within all of the training manual, are going to give your children great skills for operating mindfulness and reducing the weights that they have on their shoulders at that young age. So, when we first think about a mindful approach, it's hard to think of it actually being applicable to children between the ages of 11 to 16. Most of us think about mindfulness for adults because mostly we think as adults ourselves, the weight of the world that we have with our own responsibilities. Now, it's very easy, whether you're an adult, a child, a teenager, whatever age you are, to constantly allow your mind to be running forward in the future or running behind in the past. It's very, very difficult to bring yourself into the present moment. But this is what mindfulness is all about. So we're going to look at adapting general mindfulness techniques, which will also work for this age range, but also adapting them to suit 11 to 16-year-olds. So if you're a teacher, you can incorporate that into the school and to the children that you're teaching. If you're a parent with children of this age, then of course you can incorporate it into working with your child to help them in many ways by using mindfulness. Okay, so it is about being in the moment, and it's not just applicable to adults, it's absolutely applicable to children, and in particular can be so helpful to 11 to 16-year-olds. So it really is very, very valuable. It's not always easy. Teaching mindfulness, if you mention it to 11 to 16-year-olds, because mindfulness, particularly in the last few years, has been such a buzzword, that I'm sure that your 11 to 16-year-old, your teenager, will have heard from mindfulness. Now, they might diss it, they might poo-poo it by saying it's not for me, it's just for adults. But really, mindfulness is going to bring them into the present to allow any stress, anxiety, even depression to just sink away and bring them into what they need to be dealing with in the moment. So it's absolutely vital, I would say, as a healing tool, as a tool for getting your children through school and dealing with any situation that they encounter. So, and it works incredibly, incredibly well. So being mindful is not about being judgmental. It's not about succeeding or failing in thoughts. It's about being in the present moment and being very aware of that person's thoughts, emotions, and feelings. So it's allowing the child to experience those thoughts, their emotions, and their feelings, and it works really, really well. Mindfulness is also about balance in life. So whether you're doing it as an adult or it is for the age of between 11 to 16, it's applicable to all really. But it's about balance in life, and it's about embracing the here and now. So think about the age range of 11 to 16, everything that they have to deal with, not just in school, but outside of school with friends, with peers. Social media is also a subject of stress as well. So mindfulness is going to help them with all of this. But mindfulness is about the thoughts, the emotion, the feelings, and it's about bringing that child into the present moment. So it works for everyone. The changes can be and are very effective, and they happen almost instantly. So it's a very, very quick way of helping somebody to gain control really on their mind. It's a fantastic tool. So research, as we know, has indicated that mindfulness can and does improve concentration. It reduces feelings of anxiety, stress, and even depression. So think about that 11 to 16-year-old. Of course, if it's going to help improve their concentration, then that's going to be absolutely key to them if they're doing exams, if they're just working through their schoolwork. If they're feeling anxious, if they're feeling stressed, even if at that young age they've started to show signs of depression, mindfulness can help in all of this. Not only exams, but think about friends, peers, if there's any bullying going on, just dealing with everyday school life as a 11 to 16-year-old. Mindfulness is going to be key for them. So there's nobody really that it cannot help. It's incredible. So you might have some 11 to 16-year-olds that think that they don't understand maths, for example, and that they're never going to understand it, and they think that they're going to be, or they are stupid. I mean, I completely get that one. Maths always went over my head. They might also have a feeling as well that they are studying like crazy, like mad, but they can't seem to learn enough. They can't seem to absorb it all. They might just have a general feeling that they're going to fail their exams. They might also have feelings as well that they're never going to get into college or university or wherever that is for your country, wherever it is. So these may be anxieties, they may be stresses that are already falling heavy on the shoulders of 11 to 16-year-olds. When you teach mindfulness, you're going to explain to them how much of their mental chatter occurs. So they might experience a constant stream of thoughts that can work against them rather than for them. And this is where we come back to the feeling of they're never going to get back into college, they're never going to understand maths and anything else that follows that negative thought process. But it's important to know that those thoughts are just like that. They're just thoughts. They're not a reality. It's just a mental chatter that's moving through the brain. So they're not real, it's not a reality. So you can just teach your child, your student, to just become aware of that mental chatter. They don't need to react to it, they don't need to pay any attention to it. They just need to know that it's there. And so almost they could watch the thoughts coming in like a bird flying over the lake. So the lake would represent the mind and the bird would represent the thoughts, so that they are simply the observer to watch the thoughts, i.e. the bird flying over the lake, i.e. the mind. So they're watching the thoughts happen, but there's absolutely no reaction, there's no holding on to the thoughts, they're just aware that all it is purely mental chatter. So the benefits of mindfulness are far-reaching, and with regular practice and commitment from that 11 to 16-year-old, they are going to have an increased improvement in confidence, balance, self-esteem, positive thoughts and feelings, because they're not grabbing a hold of that mental chatter, their health, their learning, their ability to be able to adapt, and their focus. So all of that with regular commitment, regular practice is going to start to benefit and going to start to improve for your 11 to 16-year-old. So some students, some children, they will have that natural curiosity for mindfulness. Remember, it's been a buzzword that's been around for the last few years. So they're probably aware, or they might have heard what it is, but not entirely sure about how to comprehend it, how to use it to work for them. So remember, it's about being aware of their thoughts, their emotions, their feelings, and not allowing their mind to take them into the future or to let them live in the past. They've got to be in this moment. We are going to expand more on this in all of the chapters, all of the modules throughout this training manual, but that's just giving you an overlay of really what mindfulness is in module 1. So there's a task at the end of this module that we'd like you to complete, And it's to ask your student or child what mindfulness means to them. So they would have likely have heard the term. But if you try to talk to them about what it is, or if you're a teacher, you involve the class in what mindfulness is, it can really start to get them to think about it. That's the end of Module 1. Really do that task. Do that task before you move on to Module 2. So once you're aware, you've read through the training manual on this Module 1, what is mindfulness? Once you've done that, you've done the task at the end about asking your child or your students what is mindfulness, engaging their reaction to that, about what it is. You're going to be able to move on to Module 2, and I look forward to seeing you there. Bye-bye.